You're listening to Living Podcariously, bringing you real men's perspectives, unfiltered, unapologetic, and uncensored. Recorded live in the Living Podcariously studio in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida.
Welcome to episode 1 of Living Podcariously. I am your host, Adam, as well as the other host on the show is Tach. How you doing, Tach?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Not a whole lot. How are you? For those of you listening, listen back to the brand new Episode 0 Redo, or Episode 0 Reloaded 3, or what did you call it?
Return of the Zero?
Return of the Zero, yes.
I don't know.
That kind of goes into detail of why we rebooted the show. So, to give you a heads up, we have rebooted. We're the same show, just we're taking it a little bit of a different direction for as we move forward. So, well, welcome to the studio, dude. Usually this place is packed, but it's just me and you in here tonight, isn't it?
Me and you, buddy. I like it.
Does that mean they don't like us? Is that...
Maybe.
I don't know. Was that the change? Tach and Adam, you guys are no longer cool. We're not going to hang out with you anymore. Fuck!
Turns out that Ron and Scarlett started their own podcast. It's the I Hate Adam and Tach podcast.
Fuckers. They're probably going to have more downloads than us right off the bat.
Probably, yeah.
Just kidding. That is not an official podcast. Dude, let's...
The I Hate Adam and Tach podcast not affiliated with Living Podcasts.
Well, I am going to take down all the old shows, or by the time this is released, all the old shows would be down. So we may need to, to our new audience, may need to describe who we are a little bit and, a little bit about us. So, Tach, why don't you lead off? Who are you? Who are you in my fucking house, dude?
Who's my daddy and what does he do? No.
I can't that chopper. I can't do voices. Ron would be yelling at me right now, but I can't do voices. I can do French guy.
He would say, "That's on French." Yeah, that's what he would say. Well, my name is Tach, and I don't know. I know I got stuff to say.
Hi, Tach. Welcome to AA.
Thank you. And I love backgammon and men who aren't afraid to cry. No. I don't know. Let's see.
What about men who cry over backgammon?
Those are just pussies.
Yeah, no kidding. Fuck those guys.
But no, my name is Tach, and I am a filmmaker as well as a podcaster, of course. And I don't know. I'm prior military.
Sweet.
I'm a father.
Hooah or which fucking grunt do you guys do?
We don't do. I was Navy.
Navy.
We didn't have a grunt.
Navies don't grunt. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like. I don't know.
Fucking shit.
Use that however way you want.
I got a funny story about the Navy real quick. When I used to work over in the place in Tampa that used to be in charge of the Middle East, is that the best way to say that place without saying its name?
No, it's...
I was walking the halls there, and I was a young kid. I was like 23 at the time. Behind me, I hear somebody yelling. This is my second day on the job, dude. I'm walking with my boss at the time, and he's showing me around. And I hear some lady going, "Adam? Is that Adam?" I'm like, what the fuck is... What's going on? And then this woman that I had known for years through my parents, through, family, friends, and whatever, she comes up to me, and she literally... I'm a 23-year-old man dressed in a fucking suit, all right? I'm a man, sort of.
Right.
And she comes up, and she pinches my cheeks in the middle of these halls of this building where you've got... 2 stars that are walking by you in the hallways. Here she is grabbing my cheeks in front of my brand new boss. And I'm bigger than my boss and just embarrassing the fuck out of me. Well, she ended up being a Navy captain, which I guess is like an 06, like a colonel, I guess. I don't know how the rankings really work that well.
06, something like that. I have to go through and count, but I don't feel like doing that, but it sounds
captain
about right.
In the Navy is like way higher than captain in the other. So. Yeah, exactly. In the other armed forces. But yeah, I had no idea. Well, she was also a directorate leader over there, so I had an in with one of the directorate leaders, which was kind of cool. But yeah, quite embarrassing. So that's the only Navy story.
Was she like an old Jewish mother? Oh, look at you! You look like you've been eating well. How come you don't ever call your mother?
She literally did do the "you look how you've grown up" stance in front of my new fucking boss out there. God, it was embarrassing. But I'm sorry, I diverged from your "who are you."
No, it's okay.
So are you single? You married?
I am a single guy. I do have kids. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about that singleness. If I'm going to keep it that way for a while or what. Although I put on some weight over the past couple of years.
You're not. No, whatever.
And so that's not really my choice, I don't think, right now. I think my gut is kind of like keeping me single.
Belly has nothing to do with it. It has to do, I figured that out real quick. So, yeah, it looks, or, what people judge people off really quickly. But, man, a lot of women are look way past that real quick. If you can break that ice initially and show them your personality and Tach. I know your personality. You're making me a little bit wet. But if you can break through that initial scare, which you're not. Dude, you're not fat, but hey, whatever. I don't judge. That's your own self-image.
No, I know, and I've had some success with the ladies. Surprisingly, I've actually gotten some attractive girls, and I don't know how I've done it, but I'm thankful. So
I've seen you at the beach. I know how you've done that. All right, I'm just saying.
Oh my god!
Tach walks down the beach, has 2 footprints and a line in the sand.
Yeah, God, no, definitely not.
All right.
And who are you, Adam?
I'm Adam. I am. It's the easiest way to put it for me. So I'm single as well. On the prior show that we had for Living Podcariously, I talked a lot about dating and going through these different apps and trying Tinder and trying these online dating programs.
Sure, and I've done all that too. So,
and to be honest, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And it was also stressful, but it was a lot of fun meeting different types of females and males.
I've had a good time on there as well. Wait, what?
I'm just kidding. But it was a lot of fun. I met some really cool people, and a couple of them that I got really serious about. One in particular I got really serious about, but I broke things off here recently when I met, and you've met the girl that I'm dating right now.
Right.
That's just a phenomenal girl. And the funny thing about that is Adam's no longer single, has nothing to do with Tinder, has nothing to do with any of these online dating apps. I was introduced to this girl by none other than my own mother.
Than your mother.
Yeah. So my mother
You
never...
should call my son.
That's kind of what she did. So she never meddles in my love life at all. In fact, there's only been, I think, 2 girls that I've introduced my mom to that I've dated over the past year and some months. And, she knows that I was out there dating. She never, asked any questions. She just let me go do my thing and, I don't know, sow my royal oats. I don't know what the fuck you would call it. But yet my mother found this girl and said, you need to call this girl. You need to send her a message. You need to do something. She's a sweetheart. And sure enough, dude, one thing led to another. And, I mean, it happened real quick. So I'm single officially, title-wise, but I have a very steady girlfriend that I'm seeing now, and she's really cool.
Do you consider that single, though? I don't, but...
Well, I mean,
status, you're not married.
Yeah, I'm taken? Is that a...
Are you guys FBO?
We are FBO. We are official... Well, Facebook official. Is that the status now? I am FBO. Yeah. Facebook official in a relationship. Yes, that's me.
So, yeah, I don't really consider that being single. I mean, some people would say that, well, you're not married, so you're single, but whatever.
Now this girl's a girl of my dreams, dude. She's phenomenal. But more about me, though.
She's a good chick. I like her.
Cool. More about me. I never did military, but I've done military contracting since 2002, and I've been all over the fucking world. So Colombia, Afghanistan, Iraq. Did 2 years in Iraq. 2 years I would wish I had back, but the money wasn't so bad, so that was okay. But done a lot of military contracting, and I'm an IT guy, so mostly servers and shit like that. But that's kind of boring. But that's my background. So all this podcasting stuff is a lot of fun to me because I like tinkering with shit and figuring out how stuff works and whatever.
It's a good time.
That's me. I've got a son. You said you have a couple kids. I've got a 12-year-old son. In fact, the music that you guys are going to hear on these podcasts is actually done by my son. He goes by DJ Constant on YouTube, and he kind of got away from doing the DJ stuff. He uses a couple apps that he's got between his tablet. He uses a little digital device called a Launchpad to mix beats. He got away from that. Now he got a PlayStation 4. He actually got 2 PlayStation 4s for Christmas. One at my house and one at his mom's.
The child living in a divorced family.
Yeah, exactly.
Good times.
He now has dedicated that channel to all video games. So he's got tons and tons and tons of gameplay.
My son likes to do that stuff too. Of course, he'll be 9 soon, but he's huge into gaming and he wants to be a game designer when he gets older. And he loves addicted to YouTube just like every other kid out there. And wants to do the gaming YouTube videos. Yeah, he's actually done a few, but it's been a while, but he wants to get back into it.
Well, very cool. Valentine's Day is coming up soon.
It's just another Thursday, buddy.
It is that time of the year. This year I've got a lady I can, spoil a little bit on Valentine's Day, which is
good.
kind of nice for me. I'm gonna take care of her. What's in the Tach lineup for Valentine's Day? What are you doing this year, buddy?
Nothing.
No,
No, I don't do anything. I don't have anybody. So
are you open? And I tried playing matchmaker once in the past with a friend of a friend, and it whatever, it didn't work out. But are you open to me setting you up on a blind date for Valentine's Day, or maybe not for Valentine's Day, but just before Valentine's Day?
Maybe not for Valentine's Day. That's not a good idea. Well, we recently tried this, didn't we?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of alluding to.
Kind of I don't know how much detail I want to get into, but things didn't work out. So
yeah, well, hey, not everybody's hits it off when they first discover each other, but there's another one. So that one, okay, understood. That particular girl has got her own priorities.
Yeah,
but
she's busy. Let's put it that way.
I maybe have another blind date potential.
Well,
set
when
up.
you say blind date, that concerns me because
it's not. You're not going to go out and have a my 600-pound life kind of blind date. So don't.
Well, I don't want her to be shocked either because that's like I said, I got a little extra weight.
Well, you got to go into it with an open mind. That's what I'm going to tell her.
And also, in case our listeners don't know, I am a redhead. Okay.
God, that's gonna suck to take down that episode so bad. There's an entire episode on a debate on whether or not redheaded people could be considered, or gingers could be considered a race of.
A ginger is our word, not yours.
Wait a minute, I'm dating a ginger now. Doesn't that give me any?
I have friends that are black. It's okay. I can say it.
Yes. Oh, my best friend's gay. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so we'll set that up. Maybe on the next show we can.
Don't surprise this chick. I mean, you got to show her pictures. Show her.
That defeats the purpose of a blind date. The blind date is you're going looking for a guy dressed in black. He's got red hair, red hair.
Let me tell you a story. One time I was. It was much like this kind of situation. I was a single. I was in the Navy. I had my Navy buddy, and he had a girlfriend at the time. And he was like, "Hey. Me and my girl are going to go out to wherever the hell that we went. I think it was the beach or something, which, side note, redheads, not huge beach fans, because the sun hates us. But anyway, so I was like, sure. She's like, well, she's bringing a friend. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I went, and I met the friend, was not thrilled about this chick at all. And I was just like, are you Tach? And she wasn't like fat or anything like that. It wasn't. She was just not attractive and just a little annoying. Okay. So, I was like, and that's how it was brought up to me. She's bringing a friend. So why don't you come along? Whatever, I was like, okay, sure. So, my buddy and his girlfriend were pulling the whole, well, let's give them some space kind of a thing, and I'm like, no,
7 minutes in heaven.
It's okay. So they would go off and leave me alone with this chick.
Awkward.
Yeah. And then here's what she goes. So I've never been set up on a date before. I'm like, what? This is a date? Like, what? What were you told?
When did we escalate to that level of...
Yeah. Like, I didn't know, but apparently they told her, oh, yeah, we're going to set you on a blind date. We're going to go out. We're going to bring the guy, and you guys are going to be out. We're going to double date. But all I hear is, hey, she's bringing a friend. Do you want to go? And that's all I was told.
Maybe that's guy code for a date.
Apparently, I was on this blind date and had no idea.
Nice.
And it was like...
well, that's how terrible. I should have approached this then. I shouldn't have approached it, can I set you up on a blind date? I should have approached it, hey, I got a friend coming out. Why don't you join us?
Oh, I don't know.
How did it go? Did you end up,
No, nothing. Because it was much like when you and I went out,
Wait. We weren't supposed to say about me and you dating.
Sorry. Not when you and I went out, but like when I went out with you last with your girl and all her friends and stuff like that. Same kind of thing. It was, hey, come out. Her friend's going to be there. And I was like, all right, cool. And then it just, no.
Ah, gotcha. Well, so, when I met you out with, my new girl, that wasn't really, I mean, your preference may be different, but those were all kids to me. They were 20, 23, 24.
All the other girls, they were definitely very attractive, but they were young.
Yeah.
But I'm always not necessarily looking for a relationship.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. One of the girls in that group, by the way, so we went dancing, to catch a listeners up, we went dancing in a little place here near us in Cocoa Village. I don't remember what the upstairs club is called, but it's above a dog. Well, I'm not going to plug them. But it was booty dancing music, and it was, your typical club type house. Exactly.
Boots and pants. Yeah.
And
annoying.
Me and Tach were there. My girl was there. One of her friends were there, and then all these other girls come up from the group of friends that are friends with my girlfriend. That's fucking confusing. But they're all young and they were all fucking hammered already when they got to the club. And they just got back from a bachelorette cruise. One of the girls was getting married. The only one in there that was engaged to be married was getting married. And one of the other younger girls comes up to me and just talking and just having small talk. And she was drunk and she looks at me. I said, "Hey, did you have a good time on your cruise?" And innocent as could be, she's like, "I had a blast." I'm like, "Well, that's awesome. Is this your first cruise?" She goes, "Yeah." And guess what? I'm like, "Whoa, what happened?" "I got laid." And she high fives me in the club. I'm like, "Hey, that's let me introduce you to my buddy Tach." It was comical. But so Tach, I've got a couple of Valentine's stories, and these are mostly submitted by women, and it's either embarrassing or funny stories. This girl's name is Katrina. She's 19. A new guy surprised me by planning the perfect Valentine's Day date, a romantic dinner followed by fireworks show on the beach. Everything was great until the check arrived. He asked me, "Should we split it or do you just want to pay your meal?" After dinner, we took a walk on the pier. He bumped into a girl who was obviously his ex-girlfriend. After talking and laughing for about 20 minutes without including me, he finally said, "Oh, sorry, this is my friend Kat." We broke up the next day. Yeah, that's not such a good.
That happened. A similar thing happened to me one time.
What, like that?
Well, I mean,
you told a girl she should pay for her own meal.
No, nothing to do with that.
You douche.
It was out with my current girlfriend running into an ex. We were out at a bar or something like that, and then this blonde freaking bombshell comes walking in with like this black mini dress thing on, just looking super hot.
Nice. Now, wait a minute. This is when. So let me paint the picture. You're with a girl already on a date, and then this other girl walks in the bar?
Date, I guess you could say. She was my girlfriend. It was with my girlfriend.
Okay.
And some friends, and we were out at this bar. And then, I think a buddy of mine had even said, like, "Hey, check out the chick just walked in." Blonde bombshell, tiny petite chick, long blonde hair, perfect body, like black mini dress, just looked hot.
Sweet.
And she came in with a dude. And so I turned around and looked.
Was he good looking too?
He was wearing so I turned around to look. Sure enough, it's my ex-girlfriend. And so, and I was like, "Oh," and I was like, hey, and she's like, so I'm like going around, "Oh, this is, Mike, Steve," what I'm making names up, Michelle, and my girlfriend's over here. And so I had my other friend on the other side of me was a girl. And she was like, and the girl I was with, let's just call her Samantha. She was like, introduce Samantha. And I was like, I'm going around, I'm getting there, I happen to leave her for last, because, you want to do that anyway, because I would say, and this is,
And behind door number 4.
Yeah. So I was like, man, and she's like, I'm getting there. And then I'm getting there, and then finally I was like, oh, and this is Samantha. It's like, "Hey, nice to meet you." So, yeah, and then awkward for a second. Then, "Okay, we'll see you later." Okay. And so, later that night.
Oh, dear. You should have said, "You guys want to have a threesome?" No, I'm just kidding.
So, after we had been there at the bar for a few hours, whatever, heading home, it's kind of quiet. So, she was pretty.
Oh,
I was like,
no.
"What's that?" She was pretty. I'm like, "Who was?" Like, that was your ex-girlfriend? I was like, "Oh, yeah."
She's
like, I almost walked out. And I was like, "Why?" Because she was like really hot. And I was like, "Oh, geez, really?"
Compare it. If this girl that walked in the bar was a 10, what was Samantha in comparison?
She was roughly probably like 5, 6 maybe.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So it is a pretty big, because in their minds, a 9 and a 10, one thinks she's a 2 to it.
Yeah, she was. They were two totally different people, which relationship-wise, to be in a relationship with one or the other, Samantha was a billion times better than this chick ever was. She was awful. This chick, we were only together like 3 weeks.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, okay. And it was like when we broke up, it was like, da-da-da, dude, just go. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And never talked to her since.
Damn. All right, so this one's called Shot in the Dark. This is from a girl named Ashley. She's 28. I had a crush on a close guy friend during college, so I was really excited when he asked me over to watch a movie on Valentine's Day. I arrived at his dorm room with a handwritten poem that confessed how much I liked him. After I read it, he said, "That's nice," and promptly started the movie. Reservoir Dogs.
Nice.
It was clear by the first gunshot that romance was not on his mind, and I was heartbroken and had to watch that gruesome, violent movie with no chance of cuddling with me. Ashley. So, cuddling with my crush. So the first strike against her is she doesn't like Reservoir Dogs. That's going to be your first strike.
That's bad. Yeah, that's bad.
But no, I get it. That is kind of awkward, though. That's nice.
That almost seems like something I would do and not mean to, but not meaning to be rude, but you don't know what to say,
Yeah, what do you do? Immediately say, "I love you"?
Wow,
No.
that's amazing. The most amazing poem I ever read.
Yeah. Of course, you got to have a little bit of couth. A girl that does something like that is obviously professing feelings, and
Well, I assumed that they had already been to that part of their relationship.
This one, no, it was her crush.
Oh,
That's what she said early on.
Oh, well, then I'm assuming that he did not feel the same.
Yeah, apparently,
especially with cool Reservoir Dogs.
Exactly.
When you said Netflix and chill, I thought you meant something else.
Yeah. You're my bro. What the fuck? I'm gay, don't you know? That'd be the easiest way out. Thank you, but I'm gay.
I've actually considered using it as an excuse to get out of a relationship. Never done it, not ballsy enough to, no pun intended, but yeah, no.
All right, so this one's on thin ice, so we'll wrap this up. I bought my boyfriend tickets to the Columbus Blue Jackets hockey game for Valentine's Day. During a break in the game, my guy spontaneously grabbed me and kissed me. I pulled away because I was so shocked, and that's when he pointed to the jumbo screen. We had been on the kiss cam, and everyone in the arena had seen my bitchy pull away and embarrassed reaction. Happy Valentine's Day, Tina. She was 20. Oh, that's just sad. Have you seen the fucking the pranks that they pull, or the bits that they pull with those? Like they'll have
I've seen some bits, some things that look staged or whatever on those things.
Like they did one here in Orlando through Orlando Magic where they had a cheerleader that was receiving a birthday. No, it was a person that was receiving a birthday cake from whatever the fucking mascot is for the Magic. The dude with sparklers coming out of his nose or whatever. Yeah. Well, he was holding the birthday cake. The guy was blowing it out. And there was a girl, like a cheerleader, that was like getting really excited and trying to photobomb and do this stuff in front of the cameras. And finally, Stuff, I think that's what his name is, the Magic's, whatever he is, takes the whole cake and smushes it in her face, and the crowd goes crazy.
Right.
But it looked a little bit too staged.
I'm sure it was, yeah,
most likely. All right, so we're gonna wrap up Valentine's Day, Tach. I'm gonna try to set you up on that blind date.
Not too blind though, not too blind.
So on my scale, she looks very good. So let's just leave it at that. Would you trust me?
Okay. Here's let's talk about this for a second.
All right.
Okay, you know what I like.
Yes, I do. Anal. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but it hurts my ass after a while. I'm willing to trust you, and go ahead and take that shot and not get any pictures or anything. However, I don't want her to trust you.
Okay.
I really want you to show pictures, show that I have YouTube videos up, send her there,
Okay. You mean to send her to your ALS Ice Bucket Challenge one?
No, God, no. God. No, not that one. I've shot a bunch of brand new videos and sent her to those.
Okay. Oh, by the way, real quick before we exit out for the break, ALS Ice Bucket Challenge actually raised enough money for the ALS research to where it was like 200, it wasn't 200 million, it was like $20 million that they raised, and they actually have a result out of that. They just put a big thing up on YouTube about it. Yeah.
Can you imagine if the people who actually did the videos actually gave money, how much more it would be?
Exactly. For all the videos that they did.
Right. Yeah. But that is amazing, though. That's awesome.
All right, we're going to take a quick break in studio. For the listeners, you guys are going to have just a short, if anything, a short 30-second commercial break. The sponsors that do sponsor Living Podcariously are important to us. They help pretty much keep the lights running in the studio and keep us hosted. So check them out. One of them is Last Drop Vape. That'll probably be this first one that you hear. The other one is Rave in a Box. That'll be the second spot that you guys hear on the show. We're going to run those pretty much every show. We'll have a couple more sponsors coming on, in the few upcoming weeks. But check it out. And, of course, you're listening to DJ Constant during the breaks. We'll be right back. Check out our new sponsor, Last Drop Vape. They make a premium e-liquid line that is simply fantastic. I vape a lot and use Last Drop Vape's blueberry and strawberry cream. They also have a chocolate that is spot on.
All of Last Drop Vape's premium e-liquids are proudly made in the USA. Their e-juice is bottled in a clean, certified, laboratory-used and 100% FDA-compliant machinery, meeting AEMSA standards and future FDA regulations.
Visit them at lastdropvape.com or on Facebook at facebook.com/lastdropvape.
If you are interested in becoming a distributor, you can contact them at their website under the wholesaler section.
All right, welcome back to Living Podcariously, episode 1, redo, part 3, fifth
Section
time around.
2, version 8.
Damn it, Ron and Scarlett. No, just kidding. We love you. All right, Tach. So I have an idea, and
Okay.
this kind of stemmed a little bit from our old episodes for Living Podcariously, where we had listeners that would send in questions either through Facebook on messages direct to us or through the email or whatever. And ironically, this is really kind of strange. I know one of them who was sending it in, but we were getting questions from girls. Lots of questions from girls. We had more of a girl audience base than I really expected.
Did any of them ask about me?
No. It's.
Are you sure?
One of them actually said that our buddy Josh on one of the shows had a sexy voice. I don't.
Oh.
But
Okay.
no, they.
Anyway, so no, it's cool. Whatever. Just anyway.
Scarlett got all the attention, like the spot attention from people. But
I knew I should have grew tits. Anyway, go ahead.
wait, you didn't? I'm confused.
Oh yeah. Well, man boobs are different.
But anyway, I've got some more questions for this week. Now, I was kind of, so hear me out. I was kind of thinking about doing an ongoing bit once a week where we use the questions that are submitted, irrelevant from guy or girl, but usually they're from girls, and we make it into some sort of ongoing short little bit, like every other fucking podcast out there has a news bit or a, listen to our email kind of bit. This is maybe angled a little bit more towards Living Podcariously and some of our perspectives as men. So the idea is, what do men actually think of during these things? That's kind of the idea of, a girl wants to know what's a guy's honest opinion about XYZ topic. So
Right.
what I was kind of thinking is, think of the old cartoons where you've got, somebody that has a cup up to a glass or up to a door listening to a conversation inside the next room.
Right.
So I was thinking about maybe something along the lines of, the female's cup on the wall or cup on the door.
2 girls, 1 cup. Or
Ooh, I like that. That's got a nice ring to it. I wonder
I think
if
it's
that's been
taken. Let's search it.
Yeah. But what do you think? What do you think about doing a bit like this?
I mean, like that's what you would call it, something like that. Like
Yeah, I'll create a fancy
cup
little
on the wall or something like that.
Something. I mean, name it if you want to. Come up with anything, but I'll create like a little sound bite. So we play that at the beginning of the bit, and we run through the couple of questions that we have for that week and answer them. Honestly.
No, that's cool. Like cup on the wall. Maybe our listeners can come up with a better name, but something like that. Yeah.
Or you cut a hole in a box, you put your dick in it.
Yeah.
That's not unoriginal. But yeah,
That's a good time is what that is.
Yeah, it's a good time right there. He touched my penis with his penis.
Freaking Connor.
Connor wants to come in here and do some of these as well. I told him about our little tumultuous week last week and, us reforming the show, and he wants to come in and do some with us as well. So
that's cool.
Bring him in and guest on a couple of shows with us. Maybe get some more footage of him doing some crazy shit. By the way, the Rave in a Box crew,
yep.
I'd mentioned this on a prior podcast, but Rave in a Box sells all the gadgets and gizmos for, essentially going to dance performances and to, raves and concerts and festivals.
Yep.
Like the poi, the spinning poi, and the staves and, whatever. And the fraction glasses, you put on glasses and you see different shit, That's also called acid. No. These are actual glasses.
So I'm thinking like kaleidoscope or what is
you
it?
put on the glasses, and depending on the glasses that you're buying from our buddy, it does different lighting effects. So some of them will be kaleidoscope, some of them will be just like double vision, whatever.
I gotcha.
It just, you do the math there, what they're used for. But they do performances. So Josh, the owner of Rave in a Box, plus 3 other people that he's hired that are also good friends of his, do performance art. And I was trying to get them to come out here in Cocoa Beach here recently, actually, but because of everything going on, we kind of put it on hold. They do fire staff spinning LED staff and poi. One of the girls does hula hoop, and I know it sounds kind of silly. Oh, she does hula hoop. No. She performs with hula hoop, like fucking Cirque du Soleil kind of shit.
Gotcha.
And it is impressive as hell. Josh actually made, I'm going to do it horrible justice. We were sitting in here watching it the other night, but he made these S staves that he spins, and it creates this really cool visual illusion as you're looking at it.
I've seen that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I may have even seen that video you're talking about, but
Could be. Yeah, he's got it up on Facebook. But anyway, I kind of segued to that, but they're going to come back over here and do something for us for Living Podcariously. But
Gotcha.
Anyway, back to the bit. So yeah, if listeners, if you have any recommendations for that bit, we're going to do a bit, and it's going to be done every show, at least as long as we have enough time, to where women submit questions, or anyone, but mostly women submit questions on what would they like to hear guys talking about if they know they were going to be talking about unedited and unfiltered. Mm-hmm. And I've got 4 of them for this week.
Okay.
They're all submitted by females. I know one of the questions.
Okay.
The other 3 girls, I have no idea who they were, but let's go into it. So think of Tach, you think of the name of the bit too, and see what you can come up with maybe by the end of the show.
Think.
Female cup on the wall. No, that doesn't. It sounds like a girl with a jockstrap. All right, so question number 1, and I'm not going to name the people who are asking these questions. Question number 1, what kinds of body figures do guys really like? And I know this is super subjective of a question, but I figure we answer it for ourselves.
Right, because, it's so weird because, like, I used to think I belonged to the 99%, but now I feel like I don't anymore, and I don't know what happened. Because, like...
You're talking about your perspective?
Yeah, from what I think is hot and attractive. It hasn't changed since I was, 10, 11, 12 years old. And it seems like the world changed, and now I'm like the minority.
Yeah. What's your ideal body type?
I prefer the tiny petite chick with a tiny little ass, and and tits aren't really that big a deal to me. I don't care so much about breast size and stuff like that. It's not a huge deal. As long as there's something there, I'm totally cool with it. I don't really care about that. But I do prefer tiny, petite, your typical, like, supermodel.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have a girl, like, what's the word? Your actress or your model that is recognizable, that, like, fits your ideal body type?
Well, you're talking, like Mila Kunis, she's pretty much perfection, like, body-wise and all that, and she's a gorgeous girl. I mean... I like the tiny petite, small ass kind of a thing, and it just seems like everybody else nowadays likes a big fat ass, and and I don't get it. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Once again,
Yeah, but each his own for their perspectives.
Right.
Yeah.
But now, what I think is so odd is that everybody likes the fat ass, and it seems like I'm the minority now. Dude, because
have you seen? And I'm not trying to plug some other show, but have you seen what's the chick, the full frontal chick, Samantha? What the hell's her name? You know what I'm talking about? The chick that does full frontal? There's a video that I'm going to show you that is ridiculous. It's a video about butts, and it's a video about why do guys like butts, and it says, oh, hang on a second. Hey, Andrea? Yeah? I have a question. Would you mind coming in here? She has a video that has made me fucking almost cry laugh because it was so funny. What is the name of that video that you showed me with the girl from Full Frontal, the one that's...
The Amy Schumer one?
Is it Amy Schumer? Yeah.
Milk lemonade?
So the video goes, milk, lemonade.
Round the corner, fudge is made.
Right.
Have you seen that?
Well, I haven't seen a video, but I'm familiar with the phrase.
Well, she does an entire song about... talking about where girls poo and why are guys fascinated with that. And oh, dude, it is hilarious. Maybe I'll put it up in the show notes or something, but it's funny. All right.
Gotcha.
All right. So you like the smaller, more petite kind of girls. That's cool. Not me. I never have been attracted to, that sounded horrible, but a smaller girl. That has never been my thing. I've always liked a full figured, and I'm not talking like a big girl, but a full figured girl. I definitely like some booty back there. I absolutely want a larger girl. And I'm not saying, I'm not going to put a size on it. I'm not saying a girl that's giant. That's not my ideal. I like proportionate. So little waist, yes. Big butt is a must. And that,
so you're my opposite then.
Yeah, I'm your No, doppelganger's the same. I'm definitely your opposite. That thigh gap that girls always say that they try to achieve, I don't fucking care.
That. I like it.
You know how
I don't care if they have it or not, but I do. I like.
You know how
that.
you get a thigh gap, right? You spread their legs. You got a thigh gap now. Guess what? That's how that works.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely like more of a full figured girl. I don't like, so I've dated a lot here in the last year, and I've dated all different body types of girls. I dated a 6'3" girl.
Whoa.
That was a little bit weird. No, I have nothing against it. I don't judge anybody differently. She was a sweet girl, but I was driving a little bitty sports car, a little roadster, and guess what? She didn't fit in my car. I'm 6 foot. I barely fit
She
in
looked
it.
like Goofy.
I had to put the top. No, she looked like Harry and the Hendersons, dude.
Oh shit!
I had to put the top down just to drive her around, and her fucking eyes and above were all fucking sticking out the top of the car as I'm driving. All I can imagine is I'm driving down like, and a dude is on, in another car. He's, "It's a huge bitch." That's all I can imagine hearing. But no, I like a thicker girl, something to hold on to. That's my preference.
See, I like somebody I can throw around a bed. You know what I mean?
I can. There's agreed. But the size that I like,
I got you.
ain't gonna stop you from doing that.
No,
not
I got
at
you.
all.
I hear you.
But all right, so those are Tach and my answers on that question, listener. So hopefully that answers your question. I don't think there is an easy way to answer that. Every guy is different.
Yeah,
some guys
that
like
is true.
Anorexic girls. Some guys like beastos, and using that term insensitively, larger girls. But I mean, hell, there's a whole porn category, BBW.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what do you? I mean, that's
pretty
big, beautiful
popular
women.
too.
Yeah, that's for
It's
girls,
not really what I go to, but
girls above 250 or something. I mean, there's fetishes out there for that kind of stuff. So just if you are bigger, don't let that discourage you. You're just
God, no.
more of a woman to love for somebody.
I've always said any girl in any bar in any town USA can walk in the bar and go, "Somebody take me home right now."
Yeah,
and they'll get at least 10 guys stand up.
Unlucky advantage they have over us. That's for sure.
We do it. We get thrown out, or so
Or,
apparently it's not kosher to do that, or so I was told. So
or restraining orders.
restraining order again.
All right. So next question from another listener: how important is it for a new girl to be accepted by his friends and or his family?
So you
and this
mean
is
like,
to him. How?
Right.
So
right.
to him, if you're dating a new girl and you're like, all right, so I'm serious about her. Serious enough to where I'm going to introduce her to mom or introduce her to my circle of close friends.
Right.
How important is it for your friends to accept her to you?
That's very important. I think it is.
Okay, good answer. Next question. No, just kidding.
I think it's very important. I want because I want it to go both ways. Obviously, I want her to like my friends as well as I want my friends to like her.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's incredibly important. So the parents. So for me, it kind of goes weird. I go parents first. Some people go friends first. I go parents first. So if I'm serious about a girl, I'll take her over to meet mom and dad, and maybe do dinner with mom and dad or whatever. They're my first litmus test of getting to that next step, because I have to be they have to be a good mix with my family. Then comes my friends. Now my friends are a much more difficult barrier to get across, because I've got friends of general ethnicity and social types, everything from IT geek to thugster to surfer to my friends range in their types. So acceptance and tolerance of those people and their personalities and their lifestyles is important to me from her, but it's also important to me for them to like her and accept her in the group, because my group of friends is a tight. They're a very open group, but they're very tight. There's a lot of them. They all know each other's personalities. They all know what to expect. You go to one of those parties or one of those beach gatherings or whatever, who you're going to have to be driving home because he can never, handle himself. You know that guy. That's usually me, but you know who that is. All right. So the next question submitted is, when judging a girl, especially at the beginning of a relationship, is PMS a good full range judge for a girl? So they want to know, to guys, are guys afraid of that time? Are guys afraid of when a girl's, going through a PMS? And not to be insensitive, I'm not trying to say, PMS in girls is like the devil. That's not my point. However, that's a question that a girl had for us. Do guys really think that the girls are at their worst during their PMS? Is it a deal breaker for some guys if a girl gets really moody or cranky or, whatever during that time?
Right. I got an interesting story. I was in a relationship with this girl. She was an amazing girl. she was pretty much like perfect. The only reason why we broke up is because we wanted different things in life. I have 3 kids. I don't want any more kids. She didn't have any kids yet, and she wanted them. So that's the only reason why we broke up. Other than
That's
that,
fair.
we were like perfect for each other. She was amazing. I had no complaints. Anyway, she's the one that got away. Now she's married and just had a baby recently, so whatever.
Well, that's cool. I mean, it sucks
It's
for you,
cool,
but that's
yeah.
cool she got, what she wanted out of it.
And, even our breakup was just really sad. It was just like, hugged it out and I love you and, kind of a thing. And it sucks that this isn't working out. Anyway, so when I was with her, she always said that PMS and how women like to say, I'm on my period. Sorry, I'm being cranky, whatever. She straight up said it's bullshit. It was like, that's not an excuse to be a bitch. It's just not. And she never used it, never was cranky on PMS days or whatever. She just wasn't like that.
That's kind of rare.
Yeah, and she's a scarce commodity. I should have married her and had a baby. I'll tell you what.
You should have.
And she was a gorgeous girl, tiny petite. She was perfect.
You're exactly your type.
I'm telling you, she was perfect.
Huh.
Oh, God, it sucked. Anyway.
You got her number? No, I'm seeing somebody. I'm monogamous now, Tach. I'm just kidding.
No, I know. And but yeah, and I thought that was so cool. And then she'd even call my daughters out on that shit.
Really?
They would try to pull that shit. And she'd be like, no. Because I would always tell them that, no, you're not using PMS as an excuse. No, you need to get up and get stuff. But you don't know what this is like, Dad. I'm like, I don't care. Pain is pain. It doesn't matter where it comes from. I was like, you don't feel good, you don't feel good. It doesn't matter. You still have things you have to do.
Well, that's like me saying I'm gonna punch you in the gut or kick you in the balls. Both are painful. One is gonna lay you out for a good hour.
So I always said you can't use that as an excuse. I'm like, I'm sorry. There's women, millions of women every day that continue through life, PMS or not. So
of course, I can only use the same type of I have no idea what they go through type of approach. I can't even be sympathetic. I can just be understanding as best I can. I've been with women that have, never even shown a single sign of PMS until, their cycle shows. And I've been with some that use like an entire week before as a excuse to be, more testy or be a little bit,
right.
Quicker to jump my shit if I did something wrong. So I've been with both spectrums of that. And I think it probably comes down to the same question is, what's a guy's body type? It's every girl's different, man. I really think that some girls' chemical balances change so much that they become super testy and aggravated. I mean, you've been in moods where you're super happy and you're energetic and super,
right.
And then you've been in other moods where you're fucking depressed and one guy cuts you off in traffic, you're ready to fucking choke him out on the highway, where other days you're like, meh, okay, he's kind of a dick, but I'm okay. So I can see that the chemical imbalance when, especially a body is going through something like that, could easily do that, and everybody's got different levels. So
yeah.
I personally, I don't think it's a good judge of a girl. All that it tells me is, how their chemical change during that time is going to affect communication. I think that's all it comes down to. If a guy is, if you've got a girl that you love and she's very, roller coaster up and down with emotions during that time, if you're, you just have to, logically approach it and eggshells yourself for a while. Walking on eggshells may be the best approach, but I don't know. You just have to treat it differently. You have to approach it logically as opposed to approaching it emotionally. But I don't think it's a very good judge, but so shitty question, lady. No, I'm just kidding.
Probably on her period.
You're in your period. Damn it. You got it before me. All right. So the last one I've got here is, do men prefer girly girls or tomboys? As long as it's not like a butch kind of tomboy.
Right.
Would you prefer a very feminine, girl doesn't play with, frogs or something, or would you prefer a girl that's, can, wrestle with you on the floor and,
Right. I've dated both, like everything in between. This one girl was like that. She was always wanted to wrestle around and shit. I just don't like that. I'm just like, I'm not that guy. I don't feel like wrestling around with you on the floor or whatever. And
unless you're naked and in oil. I mean,
and and then I've been with the once again, it's to each his own,
Yeah.
you know, but this is for me. I prefer somebody in between, somebody probably a little bit more on the girly side. But I mean, you want a chick with a little bit of tomboy in her. I don't want somebody who's going to scream if there's a lizard in the house.
Wait a minute. I scream if there's a spider. I fucking hate spiders.
I don't want somebody to scream if there's a palmetto bug in the house, because that's my job.
So
I want somebody's going to get that for me.
if a palmetto bug carrying a spider came in this room, you and I are going to die.
We're dead. We'll
Yeah.
just burn the house down.
Okay, perfect.
You know, I want somebody who's not afraid to get a little dirty, you know, but I also don't want them to body slam.
Is that a
either.
euphemism for, like, in the butt? I mean, just
For
kidding.
in the butt. But you know, I want somebody who's not afraid to get dirty, and also not going to body slam me either.
Okay.
But also likes dresses and bows and shit too. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I don't know. Does that make sense?
No, it does to me. I definitely like it more of an effeminate girl. One of the conversations we've had in the past in here, I absolutely love it if a girl, you know, wears dresses and you know, makes herself feminine.
I like the girl that wears dresses every once in a while. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Some girls just won't. They won't.
I dated a couple that don't even own a dress.
Yeah.
You know, they don't. And in fact, I may or may not. There's one of the girls that I dated while doing the Living Vicariously show, the one we just rebooted from, listened to the podcast where I said, you know, I don't want to date a girl that only wears pants or slacks or something. I want to see a girl in a dress. This girl went out and bought dresses because of the show, and she was going out on a date with me. So she listened to the show, she bought dresses, and then went out. But whatever. Being feminine is important. To me and my friends, at least, I know that.
Right.
However, if you're sitting around the house watching movies, if it's going to be a Netflix and chill kind of night, I don't expect a, you know, evening dress. No, throw on some PJs and, you know, that kind of stuff's fine.
Okay, I've told this to a million girls, and
Damn,
exaggerating.
playa?
Right? No, not necessarily girls I was dating or anything, just girls in general. And I'm going to put this out.
Just random girls on the street. Like,
Exactly.
Hey,
Like, hey,
you.
come here. Come here. Let me tell you something. No, like, guys, I think guys, anyway, for me anyway, and most guys I know, we prefer the down look versus the up look. I don't know if that makes sense.
No,
to you.
tell me what you're thinking.
Okay.
Down look like I start at the face and go down?
No.
Oh.
The way they look. Like, women think, well, I'm not going to say that they don't. Okay. When women say, hey, I'm going to go out and look attractive, they get all dressed up. They do their hair. They put all this makeup on, and they think, good.
You got
I
your
look
hair
attractive now.
did. You got your nails did.
Right. But then, like, yeah, that's fun, well and good, whatever. Guys don't prefer a lot of makeup, if you can get away with it, you know. Whereas, like, if a girl just, like, throws on some yoga pants, t-shirt, little ponytail, and just goes out the door, that's what we like the most. You know, we're always like, damn, she's hot. Or you even say to a girl, like, God, you look so hot. And like, I'm just wearing this. What? I didn't even do my hair. I mean, you've heard girls say that a billion times, I bet. You know?
Yoga pants. You had me at yoga pants. by
I
the way.
know.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. You know, but as an example.
By the way, girls that are listening, we absolutely like yoga pants. Whoever
Yes.
started that fashion trend, like 8 years ago, good on you. Because,
Yes.
boy, those are fantastic.
Yoga pants, t-shirt, and just like hair done in a flippy thing or whatever. That down look is the hottest you ever look.
Oh, I understand down look now. Okay,
Yeah,
got
the
it.
down look versus the up look. I think girls do the up look with all the makeup and the thing and the da-da-da-da. I think they do that for other girls. Because
That's a good point.
because guys were like, meh, whatever. But if you got the yoga pants, t-shirt thrown on, walking out the door, that's when we're like, whoa.
I'm not the one-up guy, but I want to one-up that. The down look to me, so the ponytail pulled back, you know, maybe flip-flops or sandals on a girl, but a sundress. Something like
Sundresses
casual
are cute,
sundress.
too.
Because it's not really that's not a big deal to throw on. Just throw on a little... you know,
Right. Yeah, it's cute too.
beautiful
It's
to me.
hot too. Yeah. I like that.
Especially if it's a Gucci with Prada's shoot. Oh, wait. What show are we doing? No, I'm just kidding.
Or maybe like the little tiny shorts and like a tank top
Yeah.
or something. Oh.
Yeah. I think I like yoga pants. So if I had to categorize those, sundress first, yoga pants second, then shorts. Shorts are okay. Yoga pants always number one. You know what's the
Right.
last?
What?
Big oversized mom jeans. That's the last. That's the bottom of the stack. I would rather see you in overalls than big mom oversized jeans.
Mom jeans.
Now, if there's some tight jeans, that moves you up a little bit. But
Daisy Dukes, something like that.
all right.
Anywho.
So those are some of the questions. So that's kind of a good litmus of questions that we're going to get for that category, for that bit. What do you think? You like female cup on the wall?
Cup on the wall. Cup.
I don't really like that.
Cup talk? No.
Cup talk? Cup check? Cup? Oh, nope.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, hey.
Not cup check. There's only
Hey.
2 guys in studio tonight. Not cup checking.
I'm not wearing a cup. You don't believe me? Go ahead, cup check me.
No,
Check me.
I remember where you positioned your penis last time. I'm not even going to touch your belly. I don't want to hear it.
No, cup check me, though.
All right. Well, we'll have to think about that.
We'll think about it.
I'll come up with a little bit for us to have and segment that each show. Have 3 or 4 questions or a bunch, depending on how many questions we get from listeners. And listeners, by the way, so we've got other podcasters that are out there that do listen to us. If you submit a question, if you're a other podcast listener, we'll plug your podcast at the same time as asking your question. So feel free to drop us a question for that with your name of your podcast. All right, let's take another quick break, and then we'll come up and wrap up third segment and get out of here. Thanks for listening, guys. This is episode 1, Living Podcarously. We'll be right back.
Introducing
Rave in a Box.
your single online stop for all of your rave and festival goodies. Rave in a Box sells and ships all of your rave and glow toys, along with flow arts, gloves, diffraction glasses, and more. Their simple to use shopping cart and standard 2-day shipping will have your products in your hands just in time for your next performance. Visit them at raveinabox.com, also Facebook and Instagram by searching
Rave in a Box.
All right, welcome back to episode 1, Living Podcarously. This is segment number 3. We're going to wrap up the show here in the next couple of minutes.
Right.
So, staying seasonally at least a little bit. We talked a little bit about Valentine's Day. That's this time of year. There's also something else that's pretty big that happens around this time of year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'm kind of a sports fan myself. So
I thought you were going to say the Oscars.
No, not that. Is that what Will Smith's wife vetoed or some shit?
Oh, geez, that's just ridiculous.
I don't know all the gossip rumors about that kind of stuff.
I do, unfortunately. I know all about that kind of shit.
Well, see, that's perfect. You know the industry, like the movie industry and the maybe music industry and shit,
Right.
pretty well.
It's kind of my thing.
I don't. I'm not going to call myself a sports nut by any stretch of the imagination. Our boy Ron can name stats and players and the whole thing.
Yeah.
He knows it by heart. That's his passion, one of his passions. But I'm a sports guy. I enjoy it. Like, did you know? Let's start this easy.
Okay.
Do you know the 2 teams that just played in the Super Bowl?
I think.
I don't even know if we're allowed to legally say Super Bowl.
Yeah, you can.
A trademark.
It doesn't matter.
Who listens to this anyway?
Denver? Did Denver play?
Yeah, Denver. What's their mascot? Denver.
The Denver Broncos.
All right, cool. Yeah.
I do know the sports. Well, okay, and then the other team is a newer team. I say newer. They still seem new to me.
Yeah.
But for all I know, they've been around 25 years. I have no idea.
They've been around for a while, yeah. I don't know. The Panthers, the Carolina Panthers, yeah.
Yeah, they're new, right?
Well, so they were part of the the last franchise expansion, which was, I think, 16, 17 years ago. It's been a while.
Shit, God.
Yeah. There's now 32 teams in the NFL, and there used to be, I think, 28 teams. I don't remember the numbers exactly. Ron would be calling us both idiots at this point. But
he's screaming right now into the...
Yes, he is. Ron, we kind of needed your help
buddy.
on this one. Yeah. But yeah, so Carolina Panthers and Denver Broncos.
Gotcha.
So my team is Dolphins first and foremost.
Okay.
Miami Dolphins. They've sucked for the last 10 years. I wouldn't say sucked. They've been decent and a little below decent throughout the last 10 years. But I'm still a Dolphins fan first. My second team is Carolina, and the reason why, and I'm not a bandwagon kind of guy, I was born in Boone, North Carolina, up in the mountains, so I like North Carolina teams. My college team is University of North Carolina, the Tar Heels, and mostly for basketball, and I've got some friends that went there and stuff like that. But I don't really even watch college ball, per se. But
Well, see, like, okay, like I'm not a sports guy at all. Like, I don't really care about sports. I don't really follow sports, but I'm not anti-sports. I get why people are into it. I get it. I'm not one of those guys like, I just don't get it. It's stupid. No, I get it. But I'm just not into it. Now, with saying that, when I was younger, my mom was really big into football. Like, her team was Chicago, was like her team. So
The Bears.
the Bears, the Bulls, and the Bears.
The Bulls and the Bears.
But back in the day, like, so I was a little bit more into football back growing up. So I can spout off, quarterbacks from back in the day and what teams they were on and shit like that. Like
Joe Namath.
not that long ago. We're talking more like late 80s.
Rocky
90s.
Marciano. Oh, no, wait. That's boxing.
People like, Vinny Testaverde or Jim McMahon or, those guys, And
Benny and the Jets. Sorry.
So, Boomer Esiason,
Yeah, you got some
people.
old.
Yeah.
They actually did on this Super Bowl. They did a tribute to the MVPs of Super Bowl 1 up through 50. They didn't get them all. They got like probably 40 of them.
Jerry
But,
Rice.
he was definitely there.
Yeah.
They had all these dudes from all these.
Walter Payton.
They had the MVP from the first Super Bowl. He's at his home and wherever the fuck he was. Oh man, he wasn't. I don't remember his name. Ron would be screaming about not knowing these names, but he's some old. I mean, just decrepit older guy. I mean, you got to think he played 50 years ago in his prime and got beat up during football back then. So now he's hey, at least he's alive. So,
But lately, over the past few years, my kid's mom, she was a Gators fan, so she kind of got me into kind of watching the Gators a little bit. So I started watching college football every once in a while.
That's where our friend of the podcast, actually two of our friends of the podcast, are going to school.
I've had a few friends that go there.
A guy named Austin, which is just a mutual friend of all of ours. And then our buddy Derek, who's come in on the show in the past with us. Both of those guys are going to University of Florida. And nice. April, I think, is going to be going up there. So, hey, Austin, April, Derek.
I have a friend that's well, not a friend. It's my friend's daughter goes there now. And back.
Oh, that's awkward. Is there something going on there between you and your friend's daughter?
No.
Hang on, what friend is it?
No,
I'm just kidding.
But I've had friends.
Let me see a picture of this girl just to judge her. No, I'm just kidding.
I've actually gone to Gainesville and hung out with, because I had friends that went there and hung out with some of them, and
it's a fucking party town, man. That's
yeah. And so I used to watch Gators, and then when me and her were no longer together, I had a roommate who was a huge Gators fan too. She was this lesbian girl, huge Gators fan, so we always watched them. And then I started getting interested a little bit more. I started watching college ball a little bit more, and then started getting into the Navy, watching the Navy play, and then all that kind of shit. So, but that's been a few years, and now I'm completely out of it. If the football is on, like, I'll watch it, whatever, but I don't really have a team.
So the game itself, all right, the game for the Super Bowl is the biggest game every year the NFL has. And it's got so many millions of people worldwide that watch it in like 90 or 100 different countries around the world, whatever. It's all over the damn world. I was a little disappointed this year because it seemed like the game was simply interrupting the commercial breaks, not the other way around. And I get it. Those people were paying $5 million for their 30-second commercial. They were spending a shitload of money, so they're making the best commercials that there are.
Was there
the
any
year.
good commercials that came out?
So, yeah, there were a couple. I mean, every other fucking radio show around the country is doing this right now, so I'm not going to get into that too much. But yeah, there were a couple. There were a couple funny commercials out there. The ones that stands out to me the most is the Doritos baby. Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen any of them. I don't have cable.
I'll give you the quick synopsis. These are on YouTube. You can go see them all.
Gotcha.
The quick synopsis is, the mom, the mother is on the table, not delivering, but getting an inspection with what's the thing you put on the belly called? For the
sonogram?
Sonogram, thank you. So the nurse
actually, you know what? It's kind of funny. I'd gone out to dinner with my son before I took him back to his mom's. And so we went to Sonny's the other night, and of course the game was up on the screens. And I actually saw that one. I just happened to look up at one of the TV. I couldn't hear it.
Oh, really?
But I saw Doritos, and of course Doritos is going to have their Super Bowl commercial. They always do.
Yep.
And then I just saw something about a sonogram and the guy screaming at the end, and that's about all I saw.
Well, all that happened is, so the woman's getting sonogram inspected by the nurse, and, oh, look, beautiful baby. And, I mean, the baby's big, her belly's big, and the dad comes fucking meandering up to the mom, and he's eating a bag of Doritos. That's the sponsor, and he's crunching on the Doritos, and the woman's like, the mother is like, really, you're gonna bring that to the nurse,
right?
And he's like shrugging it off, and
makes sense to me.
The woman and the nurse are talking, and he's looking at the baby through the sonogram screen that he can see. And he notices the baby's following the Dorito wherever he moves it. And he's making a game out of it. And he moves it real fast, and the baby hits the mom's belly. And then she gets pissed. The mom gets pissed. Like, I can't believe you. She takes it and she throws the Dorito. And the baby looks right into the sonogram camera and then kicks off like you would kick off in a pool off the mom's belly and whoosh, right out. And then, of course, the mom screams, the dad screams and passes out, and the nurse screams because the baby just shot right out the vagina. I mean, you didn't see that. That was what it was implied. That was probably the best one. There were a bunch of other good ones, but that was... However, the Acura NSX debuted its commercial in the Super Bowl. The new 2017 Acura NSX.
Okay.
Beautiful car. I like Acura. That's my favorite car.
Gotcha.
I like Audi as well, especially the R8. The supercar Acura NSX that's coming out. Jesus Christ, that's a hell of a car. It is definitely a supercar, so it's like way out of my budget, $250,000 or more. But it is beautiful. Oh, dude, I'll show you a picture of it. So, yeah, that was the Super Bowl. Denver Broncos won. They were the underdog. They weren't supposed to win. Everybody projected Carolina was going to win by either 5 or 6 or 5.5 or something like that. So a bunch of people lost their ass. Vegas made so much money, it was ridiculous. But, yeah, so that's Super Bowl. So that happens this time of year. I know Ron is screaming at us right now because we could have gone over so many other facts about the Super Bowl. But, hey, buddy, that's kind of what happens. But so that's all I got this week, Tach. Do you got anything else you want to throw in?
Not that I can think of. Just if any listeners have any ideas for the name of that segment, or if you have any questions or anything, you can contact us at where?
show@livingpodcariously is our email.
Thank you. I should know that. Sorry.
That's all right. Or Facebook, facebook.com/livingpodcariously.
Really just throw a Twitter, too, and they can twat at us, right?
Oh, we got to get that back from Ron. I know he manages it right now. We got to take that back over.
Oh.
But yeah, @Podcarious on Twitter is where we'll start adding a lot more content. Ron's been managing that for us for a while, and we'll get that in there. Who knows? Maybe some of these girls' questions were submitted by Ron. He wants to have his impact on the show still. We'll see. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate it. Tach will throw in a plug for Taint Funny as well here at the end during the closing bumper, so be sure to go check out Taint Funny as well. Listen to those guys. In the past, we've had in Eric. We've had in... Well, that's it from that show. We still need to get both Jimmy and Johnny in here to do some guest visits and guest hosting. Of
Jimmy really wants to also. He's an avid listener. So
cool. Thanks for listening, Jimmy. We appreciate it, man. I heard you were probably more upset than any of the other audience members.
He actually had an impact on our reboot. So
good.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
thanks.
thanks.
Helped us convince us to. Well, he helped me convince me to help convince you that we should reboot the show. So.
Jimmy, we need a ghostwriter, buddy. Why don't you start submitting us some bits or skits or something like that, or segments for the show. Hey, maybe Jimmy can name that segment for us. Jimmy, name that segment.
Name that segment.
All right, on that note, we're out.
See ya. Hey guys, this is Tach from Living Podcariously. You can also check out other content I have. I also co-host a podcast called Taint Funny on iTunes and Stitcher. It's me and 3 of my buddies. We talk about movies, television, video games, comic books, you name it. It's a comedy podcast called Taint Funny. And you can check us out at taintfunnypodcast.com.